With Lewis Hamilton having seemingly finished his farewell tour of the Mercedes team this week, all of the attention and focus can be fully placed on him joining Ferrari. And with that comes the first news article of a rumour regarding some of the influences he's going to be having on the 2025 car and all Ferrari cars moving forward. And I'm talking about the brake supplier for Ferrari, with a news article having been published on Thursday regarding this very matter. Now, Hamilton's influence with regards to this states he's had a major influence on getting Ferrari to change their official brake supplier from Brembo, which they have used throughout their entire run in Formula 1, to Carbon Industry, the brake system and brake designers through which Hamilton has literally used throughout his entire Formula 1 career. But it won't be the whole brake system that is changing for next season on the Ferrari. Hamilton will only want one particular portion changed, and that is the brake disc, arguably the most important part of the braking system for an F1 driver. Brembo will still be supplying the team with the brake calipers and pads since Carbon Industries don't manufacture this part. And this article states that Hamilton stipulated this had to be one of the kind of clauses within his contract before signing, and it was of course that he wanted to bring Carbon Industry into the fold with Ferrari. Now, while you think and may wonder why would a rumour like this cause a lot of cause and concern and intrigue, of course, equally so, it is of course meant that Brembo themselves did release a statement on the same day stating they are still going to be supplying Ferrari with their Brembo brakes for the entirety of the 25 season and beyond. And that is where this all gets very much interesting. If this rumour was very much dumbfounded and had no credibility, I don't feel Brembo as a organisation, as a company, would have come out and publicly addressed this issue. So I think there is more to this story than meets the eye. Now, regarding what are the differences between Brembo and Carbon Industry, as I'm sure a lot of Hamilton fans and Ferrari fans likewise will be wondering, well, essentially, there is not much of a difference in terms of the performance both offer for a Formula 1 car. Essentially, what this is all about is the feel of a driver and just the way in which the brakes feel for them when they're going on them. But there is a rumoured additional level of stopping power that the Carbon Industry brakes have over that of the Brembo brakes. But that is something which is a little bit of a rumour and hearsay. So take that particular part of this piece of information with a grain of salt. But of course, with Hamilton having used this for the entirety of his career and very much successfully, because of course he is very much well known as being someone who is very much late on the brakes and is able to feel his way around braking very much later than most and sorting out the back end of the car with the levels of oversteer he kind of induces as a result. And I feel that is a justifiable and understandable request to have from a 7-time world champion. But of course there is a other side of this situation, that is of course Charles Leclerc. Where does he fit into all of this? Does this have a huge impact on his own overall performance with a Ferrari car? Well, the answer to that will be a resounding no. Because these are just parts that Lewis Hamilton wants. They don't have to make any changes whatsoever with regards to Charles Leclerc's brake system on his Ferrari for any season moving forward. This is of course something that only will change if a driver asks the team to make such a change, and it's not something that is a big deal. But perhaps Charles will want to test these brakes out during pre-season testing, and maybe he finds that he likes the feel of them more. But I wouldn't think this is something that is going to actually happen with regards to him. I think this is solely a Lewis Hamilton effect. One other thing with all of this is of course the installation of the brake discs and the brake calipers. It is of course very much a like-for-like change. There is no major differences between the two brake manufacturers, and so it shouldn't be that difficult for Ferrari to introduce this change onto the SF25, or Project 667 or 677 as it is known internally. Now you may be wondering, where does the credibility in this come from? Well, I think it comes from a couple of different areas, and there's a bit of a contradiction within this couple of areas. Now, one is, of course, Brembo themselves came out and disregarded and disputed this very much rumor that had been published on a Japanese website. But that does beg the question for me personally. Why would you as a company come out for a random rumor from a news article on a Japanese website? It doesn't really make sense. And then to top that all off, you have Ferrari, who they themselves didn't come out and back up their brake supplier with a written statement. So then that, of course, leads you down another avenue. Have Ferrari actually been holding talks with carbon industry behind the scenes during 2024? Because, of course, they have known for a huge length of time with regards to Hamilton joining that he would, of course, potentially want carbon industry on the Ferrari cars that he drives. And this news article very much states that the progress has happened very rapidly over a couple of months, and it wouldn't take a lot to be able to introduce them onto the car. And in fact, within the article, it also states that while Brembo knew nothing about it, there is a Ferrari source that has actually been fired from within the design team who leaked all of this information to the news publication. So it is very interesting to listen and to read and to hear all of this story as it goes around. So I actually do believe there's a bit of credibility to this news article for all those reasons that I have just listed to you. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what other changes Hamilton makes during his initial period with Ferrari. Very much like what he did in Mercedes, changing the steering wheel layout, changing the dashboards, making it all bespoke to the way he wanted it to be. I'm sure he's got other ideas that he would like to implement during his time at Ferrari. Anyway guys, I am going to wrap the video up here. Hope you all enjoyed it, and if you have, do subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and I will catch you all in some further Formula 1 videos throughout this winter period.